the junk.
Love it. Every time. Well, so it looks like we're like in the sunny beaches of like Florida or something, right? Or is this just a plant that we added to the table?
It could just be a plant we added to the table,
Yeah.
but I'm okay pretending this is nicer Florida weather instead of the Ohio weather that we live in.
It's cold.
It is,
Very cold.
but it is winter, so it kind of makes sense.
It is. Can't wait till it's summer.
Nope, me neither.
All right, Jen.
Episode 2 of What the Junk.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. So happy that you decided to join us again.
We added a plant.
We
but
did.
We have not updated our sign yet.
No.
But someday we were going to get a really
Someday
cool sign.
soon.
Yeah. Not that it's not a cool sign. It's pretty cool.
It's the OG sign.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think we need to pick out of the cup. I wonder what we're going to pick.
I wonder too. Man, let's see. If I can find the paper. Oh, there it is. Drum roll, everyone. Brad intro.
All right. Can't wait to talk about myself.
Hey. So, Brad, Junk King. What does this mean?
Well, we are a full service junk removal company. So we come in, we provide all the labor. We can take anything out of your house, anywhere from maybe you got a new couch. I need to get rid of the old couch because the old couch smells like dog. I love dogs, so I mean it's not necessarily bad, but
sometimes they do smell.
Or maybe the couch is a perfectly good couch, but you decide you want a red couch and you had a brown couch, and so you need to get rid of the brown couch.
Gotcha.
And then where maybe you've been hoarding stuff for your whole life and you're ready to like clean it out.
Release.
Yeah. Where maybe your parents hoarded stuff and it's just time to clean it out.
Yeah.
Right. And so we come in, whatever we need to do, and we clean it out. We take care of stuff. We do yard debris. So if you have a backyard full of stuff and you need to get rid of it, we can do that. And then once we take it, we recycle it, we donate it, and sometimes we have to throw it out.
Well, sure.
Yeah. So about 60% of what we bring in, we're able to recycle,
That's
reuse. Awesome. We do a lot of donations in the area. We also do some garage sales where we are able to raise some money and donate to different organizations. So like we're doing the Ronald McDonald House next month. We've done some other places like Bethany House, Life Stroke Center, and just some of the other great organizations here in the Toledo area.
That is awesome. So a couple things that I love about the Junk King, and I tell all my friends about you, honestly, and that you're amazing. And let's go back to like the donating and the recycling part, because I think that really kind of what sets you guys apart from other junk removal companies, is that the fact that you guys really do take pride in honestly trying to keep things out of the junkyard, which seems completely opposite of what you should be doing, right? Like, so why do you do that? It seems like that's a lot of like time that you would spend taking care of all that. You know what I mean?
There's only so much room there you can dump things. And so I feel like we're, as a society, we're a little bit wasteful, right?
Okay.
And so I have 3 kids. I want to leave a beautiful planet for my kids. And so we want to keep it out of the landfill. But I think the other piece is, there's a lot of families that need things and they don't have, the means to buy them, or maybe they just don't have the means to buy something new, right? And then, there's people who they want to change up their house, right? They want to change something up, or they're moving to a smaller house, right? And they don't want the stuff to go to the landfill. This is stuff they've worked really hard to accumulate, and it's
not
nice
bad
stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so they would prefer to have somebody come in who's gonna take care of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And find those families that need it, and give it to them. And so we just want to be socially responsible. We want to be responsible with our planet. We want to be responsible with all the help that we can for other people.
Okay.
And I think that, I have a personal, like if we all just helped each other, this would be a pretty amazing place, right? And I think that as I've built a network of people who want to help other people, and I've built a network of people who need some help. I just really been able to see the beauty in all of us helping each other while still being able to make some money, right? Like, we got to pay for the people, who are doing the work. We have to pay for the equipment, and we have to, put food on our family's table, right?
Right.
But we can do that and still do a lot of good. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
I love that. Yeah, absolutely love that. So yeah, you talk about garage sales and partnering with different organizations, and I know you guys have also helped with like house fire victims, right?
Yeah, yeah. So and usually what we do is we'll reach out to organizations that we know are helping people, right? So we had some apartment fires in this area, and there was about 60 families that were displaced, and
Wow.
so we reached out to just like, hey, like we got a warehouse full of stuff, right? And so some of that stuff we are indirectly able to give by giving to a place, and then we'll give to them. We were able to directly deliver furniture to some families that needed it. Um, we also had people who I was like, well, just come and check out the warehouse and see what's there and pick out whatever you want. We'll throw it in the truck and we'll bring it down for you. So, I think there's a lot of different ways that we're able to help people in that manner. There's wonderful organizations that do great things, and they already have those connections. They already have resources. A lot of times they just need some more stuff
Right.
to provide. And then there's opportunities where me and my team, we just get to go down and deliver it directly, which we love, obviously, right?
Oh
So
man, I'm
we
sure that
love
feels
all of
good.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so the other thing I wanted to ask you or talk to you about is you mentioned full service junk removal. Now I know some of the stories because we've known each other for a while now. So I've gotten to hear some of the stories. But what does full service like actually mean?
It means that we do all, right? So if you have a piano in your basement,
Oh
say,
my gosh.
you,
Yes.
so much fun.
Yes.
Um, we get it out, and if it's a good piano that we feel like we're able to donate or we're able to, provide to a family, I mean, we'll do our best to get it out in one piece.
Yeah.
And then there's definitely pianos where it's like, no, it's seen a better day. We just need it out of here. We'll break it down. There's so much that can be recycled in them though too,
Really
you
did not
know.
know that.
And so I think for a lot of people, it's not even necessarily that they care about the piano being donated, right? They just don't want to see it go to a land. Maybe it was their grandma's computer, grandma's piano,
Yeah.
and
Different types of keys
right. But
on that one.
they know that like they know it's old and it's out
Right.
of tune and it's not a very good one, right? But they still don't want to see it go to a landfill.
Right.
So we're able to provide all of that. And so I was just talking to somebody actually yesterday who I joked about a piano in the basement because I
Yeah.
was like, hey, like if you ever need anything, let us know. Unless you have a piano in your basement. And he's like, well, I do have a piano in my basement, and I do need to get rid of it. And I was like, all right, we do
Well, we
that.
can do
Yeah,
that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely been some times where me and my team have done some high fiving when we got that out
Oh,
because
I'm sure.
they're heavy. But it really is the full service, right? And so for some people, what might take them months to do, right? Because they don't want to just throw stuff out. But even if they want to throw it all out, even if they
Right.
have a storage unit that is full of garbage, right? If you have like a little Honda Civic, I mean, how many trips is it going to take
Right.
for you to get rid of that? And so we come in with our 18 cubic yard trucks. They're bright red, they're pretty awesome. And we fill it up, and in 20 minutes, it's empty and your
Just
unit's
done.
swept out. And I mean, and we've had people who are like, I've been trying to do this for 5 months, and you came in here and you did it in 40 minutes. And that's
Wow.
that's where this full service piece comes in, right? We haul it all out. You don't have to mess with it, and we do it quick. And so, but then I think other times the service comes in the kind of the relationship piece, right? So sometimes we go in, and I'm sure like a lot of people have watched Hoarders, right?
Mhm.
And they see, just a family having to like navigate, like, what does this mean? And so we can go in and we can kind of break it down in the phases for them. We can help them kind of get a action plan together of how are we going to tackle this, because we've houses where we took out 19,000 pounds of stuff. I mean,
Wow.
um, and and when one person's trying to do that, that's an impossible task,
Yeah.
right? But when you got a team of people, so what we do in a lot of those cases is that we'll do it in phases, so we can help. Okay, all this stuff is going, but you need to sort through this other stuff, right? So let's get this stuff out so it's out of your way, and you can sort through this stuff, and then
Yes.
the next time we come, and so we can break it down into phases. But there's a lot of like support for the family that has to come through that as well. And so, I think that's the other piece of the full service we provide, is that support of how we're going to tackle this project together.
I love that because, I mean, especially with what I do, I see as well like the overwhelm that people just have, like trying to deal with some of this stuff.
Right.
And like knowing that you have a team of people that already have so much knowledge about, yeah, this is junk, this is recycle, this is scrap, this is all the things that I can do with this, pile, um, is so helpful to know, like, okay, great, like there it is, you take care of it. So that's awesome. And I will also say it's service with a smile. Like the several people that I know that have gone with you guys and had you help them and hired you guys out, all have said amazing things about just how nice your crew is and how they're just so willing to help, which is, I think, amazing. So,
Yeah. Well, it's definitely, I think it needs to be the center of any business. Um, and I think it's so easy to just say, well, that's like a trade business. So maybe that's why they weren't as friendly. But I just don't think it matters, right? I don't think it matters what we're doing. You have to be friendly and kind and nice and understand that this is a emotional process for people. And like, so we did a job 2 days ago. It was a pretty basic job, some stuff in a garage, right? It wasn't anything big, Um, but she has an 8-year old, right?
mm.
And they decided it's time to get rid of all the baby stuff. And so she was crying while we were taking
Oh,
the stuff out.
yeah.
And so I always tell my staff, like, this stuff has meaning to people, and they may be paying us to take it away, and we consider it junk, right? But it still has meaning to people, and so we always have to treat it that way. And these car seats that are probably older, right? Probably won't be able to find use. Sometimes we can. It depends on the date, right?
Right.
But if the dates pass, the dates pass. But there's a lot of attachment to this car seat because that was a major piece of like her child's when she was a baby, right?
Right.
And and so that's an emotional piece she's letting go, and it's important for us to treat it that way.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you can never assume that something is just an old whatever, right? Like you just don't know when it really has that attachment.
Mm-hmm. So, how did you decide this was what you wanted to do? How
Yeah.
did you get here?
Well, I did a lot of exploring.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my family, I grew up in a small business. My family owns a salvage yard. We actually started exploring salvage yards because I thought maybe, I enjoy cars. I enjoy the recycling behind it. I like that stuff is getting reused. I like that you're finding homes for things basically, right?
Okay.
Somebody needs a new part. They can't afford a new part, but they can afford a used part, and so I like that aspect of it. But it was pretty costly. I don't know if you
Mm.
looked into buying salvage yards
I'm
lately.
not recently.
They're
No.
expensive, and
Okay. Good to know.
so and the banks aren't like, yeah, let me just give you money for all these like cars, right? And so yeah, so we're like, well, maybe this isn't. We don't have like a ton of cash, and so then we started exploring just like we explored coffee shops because I love
Okay.
drinking coffee.
Sure.
But then I said, do I want to make coffee for other people? Probably not. And I just drink black coffee. So when you tell me you want like a mocha latte, I'd be like, I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I just didn't see that being my future
All right.
career choice. Um, but I really like, I've always gotten a lot of satisfaction out of helping my friends get rid of things. And whether that was like trimming up a tree and getting rid of the branches, right? Or helping people just kind of like clean out their garage and stuff. And and then, we just really saw a need for kind of this stuff, right? To like find some better homes. And yeah, it's great that like there's a place you can go buy used stuff, but we just kind of felt like there needed to be more of like a way to connect people and connect people who want to get rid of stuff and connect people who need stuff, right?
Got it. Yep.
And so when we started exploring businesses, we really felt like, Junking fit that, right? Because they're all about the environmental piece, right? They're
Yeah.
all about the giving back. It's really a core of like the model of how the business has been built. And so many of the other junk companies that we looked at, where we explored, I mean, it's put it in the truck and go to the dump, right? And that I just couldn't see myself adding to the dump basically. And
Mm-hmm.
so this just was a really good fit, and we got to own our own business, but we have that support from a franchise, which I think a lot of people assume like if it's a franchise it must be run by somebody who's someplace else, right? It's not somebody local, but we're here, we own our trucks, we know the people here, we are invested in the community, we live in the community, our kids go to the school here. So we're not just helping to people remove junk, but we're helping people that we know here in the community with stuff that they need. And yeah, so that's kind of how it all like fell into place. And I love driving big trucks,
I
so
mean,
it's
who
fun.
doesn't?
Yeah, yeah. And then with the cab over, it has like a short wheelbase. So now when
Oh.
I drive like a regular vehicle, I'm like, oh my god, this thing's like a tank, right? And that I can just like crank the wheel and just back into a driveway. It's so much fun. So
Man.
everybody looks at you because you're like sitting way up there in a
Yeah. The
bright
big old
red
bright
giant
red
truck.
truck.
Yeah. All my friends send me pictures all the time because they're like, "Oh, I see the truck." They'll be like, "You must own 10 trucks." No, right now we have two. We're open for a third soon. So,
Hey.
yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, but I just feel like, all those aspects of it really appeal to us. And it's been everything that we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Our kids are super involved in it. They help with all the organizations. My 16-year-old stepdaughter loves going out on the truck. She spent 14-hour days out there with me, just hauling junk. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So what are some things we could expect to hear from you in our What the Junk podcast?
Well, I feel like I got good stories.
You have amazing
I
stories.
like telling stories. So you definitely get some good stories. Um, and then, yeah, I think for me, like just kind of seeing, because I am like newer to the business, right? I'm not new to like the recycling piece. I'm not new to like the small business piece, but I'm new, right? I'm in my first year of like the actual junk removal piece. I feel like there's been a lot of times where I'm learning right along with my customers, right? And so I think that, through that learning, I feel like that's where I'm really going to be able to talk about, these are things that we've seen, these are things that I've seen. And maybe somebody who's been doing this for 15 years, right, doesn't even think about it anymore, right? Like
Mm.
a garage is a garage full of stuff, right?
Yeah.
We're going to empty out this garage. But for me, I'm like, oh, it's the garage full of stuff,
Yeah.
We're like, we got a semi trailer one time, right?
Oh my gosh.
I was like, a semi trailer. Like, I didn't even, and they're like, I put in a bid and I was like, I hope I don't lose all my money because I don't know if I know what I'm doing, right? And it ended up being great and we had a great time. So, so I think that, because I am newer to it, these things are fresh to me. And so I think as I'm coming across it for the first time, I'm able to talk to other people about, these are some of the challenges I see from people when they're trying to like just clear out a garage or clear out their parents' house or, clean out the backyard or whatever, right? Like whatever it is. Those things are fresh to me and I'm really going to be able to talk about those things.
Yeah, I love
Um,
it. I'm excited to like hear more about like how like what is recyclable versus like scrap, and
yeah.
I feel like I've learned already so much from you since meeting you. So I'm looking forward to passing all that on to our listeners as well.
Yeah. Well, and I think it'll be exciting for people to submit ideas for us to talk about too. And so
Yeah, so let's talk about
yeah,
that.
yeah,
That needs to be the thing. So we will get some information on how you can find us because we have a Facebook page.
we do. We have a Facebook page,
Yeah,
other places.
all coming.
Yes.
But yeah,
And then people can just in the comments they could put down ideas,
and we'll add them to the cup.
completely appropriate ideas.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't be mean.
Nope.
And then now people are just going to be mean to be mean, but it's okay.
The questions don't get asked.
Yeah. So, yeah, like people will be able to submit, make comments, send us messages with just different things that they feel like we could talk about, and then we will draw from the cup, and we'll add to those things too, because we have lots of ideas, of course.
Yeah.
And then whatever comes out of the cup is what we talk about. And then if we find we only have like a few minutes, that
Maybe
we
two
might draw two or three
topics.
topics.
Come on.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome. Well, Brad, this was awesome to hear from you and what you do at Junk King. And thank you again to our listeners for joining us for another episode of
of
What the Junk.
what the junk. Yeah.